All right, today we're going to dig into something you've probably heard a million times, the Great Commission. But what if I told you there's one little detail hidden in plain sight that could completely change how you think about being ready for something big? Let's get into it.
So let's just jump right in and bust a myth. A lot of people hear Great Commission and they immediately picture this mission to just gather huge crowds and pack them into a church building. But this quote here points out something crucial. That's never what Jesus actually commanded.
Okay, so if it's not about filling buildings, then what is it about? What was the actual, real command? And just as important, what must it have felt like for the very first people who heard it? Well, to figure that out, there's only one place to look. We got to go straight to the source. And here we have it, from Matthew 28. Picture the scene, right? The 11 disciples are there in Galilee. They see the resurrected Jesus, and they worship him. And then he gives them this absolutely massive world-changing command. But read it closely. Did you catch it? There's this tiny little phrase tucked in there that, honestly, it changes everything.
And that little detail, well, that's the puzzle we're going to unpack right now.
Just 3 words, but some doubted. I mean, let that sink in for a second. They are literally looking at the risen Christ. They're worshiping him, and in that exact moment, some of them are still doubting. It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
And this is the exact question that got the author of our source material thinking. I mean, it doesn't really add up, does it? Why on earth would you launch the biggest mission in history with a team that has active doubters in it? Wouldn't you, wait until they were all 100% on board? Until they were a bit more seasoned? So that's the puzzle. And the answer to it brings us to the main idea for today, and it's a big one. It's this principle that just flips our whole concept of being ready completely upside down. It's all about taking action before you feel ready. Think about how we usually approach things. The common view is, okay, I need to get all my ducks in a row, I need to get rid of all my doubts and feel totally seasoned before I can do the thing. But what this insight from the text is telling us is that's completely backwards. The idea is that you become seasoned by doing the thing. The action itself is what prepares you. And here's the kicker, right? If Jesus gave this huge command to a group that had doubters in it, then what excuse do any of us have? It pretty much means that feeling unready or having questions, none of that is a good reason to just sit on the sidelines. The call is for now, exactly as you are. Okay, so if being ready isn't the starting line, then what is? How does this actually work? Well, that's what we're going to break down now. This idea of becoming through doing. It's really a 4-step process when you look at it. First, you receive the command, doubts and all. You don't ignore them. You just accept the mission anyway. Then, step 2, you actually go and do it. You put it into practice. And it's in that action, that doing, that you start to change. You become who you're meant to be. And finally, that's when you really get it. That's when you realize the authority you were given. See, the authority isn't something you have to feel first. It's the result of your action.
And this really gets to the heart of the whole thing. Jesus isn't looking at us and seeing all our flaws or doubts where we're at right now. No, he's looking at who we can become when we actually follow through on what he asks us to do. It's all about potential, not perfection.
So that big question might still be lingering. How do I know I have the authority to do this? And the answer in the text is incredibly direct. It's like Jesus is saying, you'll know when you go and do it. The proof isn't in a feeling you get while waiting. The proof is in the experience of actually stepping out and acting.
Which brings us to the final thought. The big takeaway here is that the call isn't to wait. It's not about waiting until you feel perfect or super seasoned or until every last doubt is gone. The call is just to go. So the question this whole explainer leaves us with, the one we have to ask ourselves, is pretty simple. What are you waiting to be ready for?